Evcol.
Late night bus. I don't mind leaving work late at night. The streets in the financial district are quiet anyway, and I like the quiet. No one hangs around closed office buildings so close to midnight. The only people out are security guards taking smoke breaks and cleaning staff, and they come and go in shifts. Oh, the sidewalks and the pavement are beautiful though. Wet from crews washing them free of urine and debris. And they shimmer green, yellow, and red, reflecting the traffic lights. There are a few bars on the outer bands of the district, and laughter spills out occasionally when the doors open. Sometimes I think about going into one, ordering a beer, joining the crowd. But I hold back, knowing the buses to the East Bay don't run all that frequently late at night. Sitting with a beer for 10 minutes would cost me an hour or more waiting for the next bus. Plus, what would I do? Make a half-hearted attempt to mingle with people I don't know? I barely know the people I work with. What are the odds that serendipity will smile on me on a random night in a financial district bar? Better to push on, catch the midnight Transbay bus and slip into bed around 1 a.m. Nothing to disturb the quiet, nothing to trouble my sleep. Now, travel to and from the room I'm renting in the East Bay Hills requires 2 buses. The transfer point is at Center Street in Berkeley. Lively during the day, almost desolate after midnight during the week. There's a bookstore there, and every night as I stand waiting for the bus that'll take me into the hills, I try to imagine what it'd be like if it were still open. You know, it's impossible not to feel welcome in a bookstore. There's a shared purpose among the patrons, all there to make a connection with the people on the other side of those books, the writers that created the stories. The clerks feel it too, and I feel a sort of camaraderie with them as I enter a bookstore. Yeah, a glance or a nod or an outright welcome. Now, libraries don't give me that same feeling of connection, and I don't know why. I mean, both are filled with books. Maybe it's their size, the scope of all they contain. Libraries almost demand a kind of reverence that bookstores just don't ask for. Bookstores exist to indulge our whims, sending us home with the promise of pleasure.
Thank you. Please come again.
So polite. So nice. The bus arrives, breaking my reverie. I surrender the transfer portion of my bus ticket and find a seat away from the middle doors where a draft from the cold night air is most likely to find me, let me tell you. The bus is a local, and a few other people are already on board. One is asleep, another is a security guard still wearing his uniform. A couple of students stare out of the windows as the bus winds past the campus on its way into the hills. I try not to stare at them as I think about my life here when I was a student. I never imagined that I'd be back riding a late-night bus after the late shift at a bank media department. Reflection isn't my strong suit. I fight the urge, though at times it gets the better of me. A couple of years after graduation, my girlfriend left me, and I drifted into a series of jobs that left me further and further from the person I wanted to be. As the bus rolls along, I try to shift my thoughts to where I'm going, not where I've been. Tonight, like every weeknight, there is no big picture. Only the lure of my bed and sleep. The bus climbs the gradual curves into the hills. The lights from the city appear through the trees and wink at me. That's my favorite part of this ride. That and the quiet. Dream time. And yet, on a bus, I never relax enough to nod off. I keep a kind of vigil, always anticipating the thing that might happen, yet never does. Never did. Until that night. Tonight. See, the bus stop nearest my rooming house was 2 blocks from the front door. A brief walk. I stepped down, and there was a car parked at a slight angle across the street. I only saw it after the bus pulled away from the curb and, like a curtain parting, revealed the car. It was the driver's side window I noticed first, or the absence of that window. Glass fragments shimmered in the street. I crossed for a closer look. There were holes in the door, and the passenger side of the car's hood dipped at an angle. The right front tire must have blown when the car hit the curb. It had to have been traveling very fast when it lost control. I walked around the circumference of the car. The passenger side door was open, and I don't know why, but I suddenly became so aware of myself beside the wrecked car and wondered if I was being watched. I couldn't hear anything. The night was quiet, though I had the feeling I was not alone. I crossed the street and walked the 2 blocks to my rooming house. Having the late shift allowed me my mornings, and oftentimes I slept in. Well, that night my mind was full. I couldn't sleep. I was so groggy in the morning. I woke up much earlier than usual, so I dressed quickly and left the house to re-examine the car. It was gone. Even the glass fragments on the road were gone. I ran several blocks between the rooming house and the little town of Kensington, slipped into Rexall Drugs and bought the morning paper. I skimmed it on the sidewalk looking for mention of the accident, or crime, or whatever I had happened upon. Nothing. I'd have to wait and buy the afternoon paper on my way to work. There was a story. There had to be. What had happened, I had to know. I had to find out. I never did. I have to write this down just to prove to myself that it wasn't a dream. Something concocted on a late-night bus ride through a place I had once known. A place I had once loved. A girl I'd once loved. A girl I was trying to forget. This was an Evcol Entertainment production, a part of the Masquerade series of monologues, featuring the voice talent of Mitch Howell, written by Joe Graceffo, directed and produced by Simon James Collier, Soundscape Design by Archie Lyon-Maris,